What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you guys are having a good day today so far. In today's video, we're going to be talking about some events that are coming this weekend. Now, Plarium made these announcements, and honestly, I was super surprised to see some of these announcements. So let's have a conversation about it in the comments. You guys can let me know about how you guys feel about all this. Without further ado, let's jump into these announcements, and here it is. So this Friday on the 27th, we're planning to launch 3 events simultaneously. The first event they're going to be launching is a 2x event to summon legendary champions from sacred shards. So only from these shards, they're going to be boosting up the legendary rates. So it's going to go from 6 to 12. This is pretty standard stuff. These 2x boosted events, they rotate around every 6 weeks or so. And yeah, going from 6 to 12 is not crazy significant, but it's still there. The second event is going to be a 10x boost for Edward Kenway. So Edward Kenway is one of the featured champions from the Assassin's Creed collab. There he is. He's actually a very cool champion. I did a play test on him. You guys can check that out. But he's a nice damage dealer. He has a high threat ability here where he can ignore shield, stone skin, block damage, and put a block revive on you on a 3-turn cooldown. This ability is very, very strong, and he hits hard enough to actually be a huge threat. Is a nice disruption, A2 AoE attack, and then a big turn meter decrease A1. Also is self-buffing with his ensnare debuffs as well. Good champion. I actually pulled this champion by accident from Ancient Shards a couple weeks ago. Just waiting for his 5-star soul before I put him to like full-time use, but I think he can be definitely useful. The knock against him is that, just basically survivability, but his ability here is very strong. It's very, very strong on a 3-turn cooldown, which is very strong. But there he is. He's going to be offered as a 10x, and it's going to be only from Sacred Shards. Keep that in mind, guys. You can only pull him with the boost from Sacred Shards. And on a 10x, if you guys weren't around back in the day, the 10x used to be the standard. Nowadays, they have 15x up to 25x progressive events. So 10x now, you get roughly about 5% chance at this Lego if you pull a legendary. So if you pull with 12% rates for Sacred Shards, and then you get a Lego by chance, you have a 5% chance, which is a 1 in 20, 1 in 20, yeah, 1 in 20 chance of getting Edward. So needless to say, 10x is a very, very small boost, and likely this is just an event to shake you guys loose of your shards before an actual Edward guarantee happens, or the Titan event for something else happens, or the anniversary happens. There's a lot of things happening, right? It's the end of February, and the start of March is pretty much next week, and that is the anniversary month for Plarium. So Plarium's probably going to be looking at dropping some pretty big news here in the coming week or so about their anniversary. So if I were you guys, I would definitely try to not get enticed by Edward on this 10x and just hold strong. All right, don't worry, guys. There's more. There's more here. Please note the duration of the 10x event will be 1 day shorter than the duration of the 2x event. So the 2x event will be the entire duration. And then there's 1 day where if you don't want Edward, you don't need to pull with Edward boosted. And now the third event that's going to be happening. They're going to be launching a champion chase tournament where you'll be able to get a limited champion, guys. And it's going to be Bayek and other valuable goodies. I'm very, very surprised to see this. Bayek as the winner take all in a champion chase is actually very surprising to me. I think this is a huge miss because Bayek is he's going to be the best champion from the Assassin's Creed collab. He's probably got the most, goodwill, hype, generally speaking. I think people are looking forward to kind of trying to get this guy. And for him to be offered in a winner-take-all champion chase with only boosted Sacred Shards, this is going to be a very expensive champion chase because Sacred Shards, even when boosted, it's only worth about 270 points each, like on average expected value. So you're not actually getting a lot of points from the Sacred Shards. So if you wanted to pull a bunch of Sacred Shards with boosted rates, you're not actually getting a bunch of points for it. So chasing down this prize in a champion chase with those kind of boosts or those kind of events happening at the same time It's not going to be easy to get a lot of points. Now, Bayek is the star of the show for the Assassin's Creed collab. I think most people would agree on that. Some people like Edward maybe a bit more, but I think Bayek is just generally going to be more useful, probably have more longevity in this game. He's an A1 leech, turn meter fill. He's got an A2 here, 3-turn cooldown, AoE, decrease accuracy, decrease resistance, provoke. Very solid ability, good value. And then he has a A3 here on a 4-turn cooldown, increase accuracy, perfect veil on everybody, increase defense, and then extra turn. So he can drop 3 buffs, he can drop 3 debuffs, or 4 debuffs actually. Very strong a support champion, and then his passive is what makes him very, very interesting. This champion and their allies cannot receive critical hits from enemies whose accuracy is equal to or lower than their own. So if you put Bayek on a team with high accuracy champions, they no longer can take critical hits from the enemy. This is really strong, and plus he brings plus accuracy as well. So he gives even lower accuracy champions, more accuracy, which will make them not receive critical hits. This doesn't mean that they receive weak hits, so they can still get, status affected and stuff like that. But this does improve the survivability of your entire team if they have more accuracy. We've seen some of these teams in action, and it's crazy. It can be definitely very insane, and there's going to be some teams where you can put with high accuracy that are going to be very, very effective, especially some reviver champions that require accuracy. It's going to be very, very strong. Now, there are going to be some damage dealers that can kind of work against this, so that won't be affected too badly by this. So one would be like somebody like Marius. Marius does bring plus accuracy on himself and the whole team, which can kind of help bring up the accuracy of the entire team. He also brings a little bit of accuracy himself. Another champion that won't be really affected by this would be somebody like Carnage. Carnage usually brings a bit of accuracy himself, so he should be higher than most of the team unless the plus accuracy is always on. But yeah, needless to say, I'm very disappointed to see Bayek as the winner take all. I would have loved to have a chance to get this guy as a guarantee. I think it's very unlikely for them to put out another event for Bayek as a guarantee. It's possible. It's possible, but I really don't think so. It's possible, but I really don't think so. If you manage to take first place in the leaderboards in your group, 100 players during this tournament, you will earn Bayek. For the players at all levels, the minimum required points is 5,000. That's a little bit interesting. The minimum is quite low, it feels like. If you take first place and you did not earn the minimum, you will not receive the champion. This tournament will last 72 hours or 3 days. So, there we go, guys. We got a champion chase coming this weekend with the winner take all Bayek. It's not a great shard event that's happening for a champion chase. And as far as I know, if we look on the calendar here, there's not really anything else going on. Yeah, there's nothing else going on. This chase event is just a naked chase event. And we know these are huge whale offs. So this is tough. If somebody really wants Bayek, it's really, really hard to figure out exactly where you stand for an event like Champion Chase. You could have been saving up quite a bit of resources. I don't know if I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm really surprised. I thought the first place winner event will be for Pontiff. Because that's what they've done in the past, right? In the past, they've always given away the event boss dungeon as the first place winner take all. The only time that didn't occur was for Karosa, which is a mythical, which makes sense. And then, obviously during the Turtle event, the Void Legendary non-boss champion was offered in a big Heroes Path event, which was Leonardo. So to see Bayek here is very surprising, and I think it's more discouraging, and not really discouraging, but it's more I guess negative feedback that you could give about this whole Assassin's Creed collab. First of all, there's been kind of wavering hype about it. I think the big thing about this was that the assassins don't really synergize with each other. I think that's the big thing, right? They don't synergize with each other, so why would you care about getting all of them? So then you have people just targeting one of them, right? So I think that was a pretty big miss from Plarium's part. during this whole collab. Like you have 6 champions or 5 champions, that's a lot of champions. And you have a 4 month right duration for this collab. The collab doesn't end until the first week of April, so we actually have like a bit over a month left. And there's literally like so little hype that's happening. The Fusion Cassandra was kind of a miss. To be honest, like she's okay, but it's kind of a miss. They offer Basim as in a deck of fate, and Basim's probably like the least hyped one. She's probably the worst one. We've yet to see anything with Edward, and then Bayek, of course, is the most hyped one, and then they offer him as a winner take all, which is the least hyped type of event because it's very like exclusive, right? Because not everyone's going to be able to get him, and this event is very prohibitive to a lot of different players. Obviously, players that don't spend have very little chance of winning this unless you have saved up like months and months, maybe perhaps years of resources to guarantee yourself the win. So I'll definitely let Plarium know about the feedback that I have, that this is probably a mistake. Hopefully they do think about this again and maybe offer him up is in a guarantee event later on. But if they do, that would be a pretty big that would be a pretty big, I don't know, big knock to a lot of people. Imagine chasing this guy in this champion chase event in a winner take all, losing, and then them offering a guaranteed event and it being shard related, right? Could you guys imagine that? Like that would just be absolutely absurd. So people would have just dumped crazy amounts of resources to get this guy in this winner take all champion chase event, thinking that it's the only event for him, and then they offer him in a guarantee in another event. I mean, it's possible that they can do something like that because they've done stuff in the past where they mentioned that, oh, we won't do this or we won't do that, but they end up doing it anyways. I'm also going to reach out to them and make sure to ask whether this is the only event for Bayek. I think we won't get a proper answer, but if I do, I will pin a comment in the comments below. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for the video here. Just a bit of news. Just to recap, we got a 2x Sacred Shard boost for a champion chase that's offering a 10x boost on Edward coming this weekend. And the winner take all will be for Bayek, not his soul, for the champion. So you guys let me know in the comments below what you guys think about that. Thanks so much for watching until the end. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.